Alright, this one goes out to Soul in Black, our first direct conversation ever. Sometimes he's mentioned something I've said in one of his videos, and I've mentioned something he said in one of my videos, but we've never talked directly. He left a comment on my video about cheating, and I didn't even know he'd left a comment until I watched his video. He left a comment saying, "On point men don't cheat. If they cheat, then they're actually not on point." Well, first, on point man or on point black man or whatever is not in the dictionary. So that means it doesn't have an already established definition. For the purposes of our discussions here on Gen X, we have never sat down and defined what a quote-unquote on-point black man or on-point man is. Or at least not that I know of. If you have, I missed that conversation. We've also used other terms interchangeably like upper echelon man. Upper echelon to me means somebody who has achieved more than the average. I believe somebody can be upper echelon and still be an asshole, but I would not consider him to be a good man. I think what you're doing is kind of like, well, let's say there's a very physically attractive woman in the room. And I mean, she is just breathtakingly wow gorgeous. Only thing is, she's a complete bitch. Now, does her being a bitch mean that she's not pretty? No, of course not. The only requirement for being pretty is being pretty. However, when you start talking about is she a good woman or is she wifey material, then that implies morals. So for me, upper echelon and on point just refers to your achievement. Now, are you a good guy? Are you husband material? Are you father material? That implies morals. Or at least it implies more than just achievement. Now, if you are going to say that upper echelon men, or I guess you said on point men, don't cheat, okay, fine. But I think that's going to disqualify a lot of guys who I think you actually would consider to be on point. One of them is Martin Luther King. He stepped out on his wife. Also Bill Cosby. He actually admitted to having an affair back when that chick was accusing him of being her father. Does those two men cheating mean that they're not powerful men and that they don't have their shit together? Absolutely not. Now, I believe you're a Hebrew Israelite. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're not a Christian, but the Bible does say that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Everybody does wrong. Nobody's going to live a perfect life. If you're going to set the bar so that on-point men don't do anything wrong, then you're not going to have any on-point men. That's an unattainable goal. So I don't agree that an on-point man can't do something wrong, including cheating. I also don't agree that a good man can't do something wrong, including cheating. Everybody does wrong. Nobody's perfect. Now, there are different degrees of cheating. Have you got 50 bitches on the side like Tiger Woods? Or did you slip up while you're away on a business trip? You were away from home, you met a chick, something happened, you go home, you never see her again. That's a totally different thing than somebody who's having an affair or who just has chick after chick after chick. That would be a man whore. Me personally, I'm not tripping about the business trip thing. I would have issues with an ongoing affair, and I would have issues with a man whore. Do I think it's realistic to marry somebody at 25, 30, 35, and let's just say your marriage lasts for 50 years, you go through those 50 years and never touch anybody else? Yes, it can be done, but I still don't necessarily think it's realistic. And here's another thing too. I don't think a married man having sex with a woman who's not his wife means that he doesn't love his wife. You can do people wrong and still love them. Again, nobody's perfect. And also, like I said before, there are degrees of things. I don't think you can beat the crap out of somebody day in and day out and still say that you love them. But if you get mad at somebody one day and cuss them out, does that mean you don't love them? No. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I do believe that you can be an on-point man or upper echelon man and still do wrong, including cheating. Alright, that's all I got for Soul in Black, but there's one more thing I wanted to say about cheating. A lot of times I'll try to hear people rationalize cheating by using some kind of biological explanation, or an appeal to nature, or they'll say something like monogamy is not natural. Here's my issue with that. Men say that after they cheat. Why don't you tell a chick that up front? Why don't you have some balls and tell a chick at the beginning of a relationship, hey, I'm a man, I got millions of sperm, monogamy is not natural, I don't believe in it, so you coming with me or not? See, if you do it that way, then she can opt in or opt out. If you do that, I can respect that and I got nothing to say to you. But that's not what you guys do. And I'm saying you guys just to keep a conversation, I don't mean everybody. But anyway, that's not what you guys do. You make excuses after the fact. Or you try to make excuses for married men. Married men whose wives probably married them under the understanding that they were going to be faithful. First of all, if you're serious about this I can't be with one woman thing, why are you getting married? And second of all, if you're serious about I can't be with one chick, why are you lying about it? Again, say it up front. I mean, what if you married a chick with the understanding that the two of you weren't going to have kids, but then after you get married, she purposely gets pregnant talking about, well, I'm a woman. Women have these natural motherly tendencies. We want to nurture things. You'd be like, nah, chick, you should have told me that up front. So I don't want to hear these arguments from no married men or men who are in relationships and they're lying about what they're doing on the side. If you're out in the open with it, then play on, playa. But if you're lying about it or only mention it after the fact, then you're just trying to make excuses because you got caught. If you meant to do something and that's how you live your life, we shouldn't be hearing about it after the fact.